And now there's some breaking news coming in. We're learning that Abhinav Bindra is going to be presenting the Olympic Values Education Program this afternoon after about 2 p.m. This program has been rolled out in India since May last year. Just a few days ago, Neeta Ambani, who is the founder of the Reliance Foundation, had announced the collaboration in the presence of the IOC President Thomas Bach. The program has been lauded for its significant impact on the young generation to inculcate Olympic values. Now, on that note, CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan had spoken with the International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach about India's bid for the 2036 Olympics. Listen in to that exclusive conversation.
My first question to you, that the IOC and its president comes to Bharat after 40 years for this very special session. Your thoughts?
It's great to be back in India after 40 years and to see the Olympic spirit growing so much here in India with the success of the Indian athletes at the Asian Games, with so many initiatives by the Reliance Foundation chaired by IOC member Neeta Ambani, to see the engagement of the youth around the Olympic movement. This is really a great feeling, and this is, I think, we are back at the right time.
Mr. Bach, how ably has Mrs. Neeta Ambani essayed her role over the last 6 years?
She's playing an exemplary role with all the support for elite athletes, but also the grassroots programs and the Olympic values education programs. With the academies of the Reliance Foundation, many young kids here in India are getting access to sport, and sometimes for the very first time in their lives, and many are coming from underprivileged families, and they do not only get access to sport, they also get access to education so that they can make their choices in life later on. And we also see this great engagement then when it comes to support individual Olympic and athletes in Olympic sports. So the results the team India achieved at the Asian Games does not come out of the blue. It's thanks to these many private initiatives, and there at the top the Reliance Foundation with Neeta Ambani.
My next question to you, will cricket as a discipline make it back into the Olympics in Los Angeles 2028? Do you see any hurdles? Can the ICC do anything?
This is now in the hands of the IOC members. During this IOC session here in Mumbai, they will vote on this proposal to include cricket into the Olympic program with the T20 format. The IOC Executive Board has just approved this proposal, and it will be brought forward to the IOC session, and then we see the result of the vote. I don't think that there the ICC can still do much, but waiting for the result of the vote.
Mr. Bach, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also pitched for Bharat hosting the Olympics. Do you see that as a possibility? 2036 Olympics in Bharat, is there a strong case being made?
Now we are hearing with appreciation about a number of initiatives here in India to study potential candidature for the Olympic Games 2036. And once this is a real project, of course, India is welcome to join the procedure for the allocation of Olympic Games, and this means to enter into a dialogue with the IOC how to build the best possible project for such an Olympic Games.
And finally, Mr. Bach, in an era of conflict, can sports bring humanity together? How ably can the Olympic movement contribute?
The mission of the Olympic movement is a unifying mission. And the Olympic Games are bringing the entire world together in a peaceful competition. And this is a very strong symbol for dialogue and peace, because in the Olympic Games we are all equal. There is no global south or global north. There are no big or small countries. There are no developed or not or developing countries. There are just athletes who all respect the same rules worldwide and compete within these rules in a peaceful way. And at the same time, they're living together in the Olympic Village, where they share their meals, where they exchange opinions, where they understand each other better. And this is a strong contribution to dialogue, and for peace you always need dialogue to achieve it.
Here's hoping for some very positive and favorable outcomes for Bharat at the end of this very special session. Mr. Thomas Bach, thank you so much for speaking with CNN News 18.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now we're going to be crossing over to CNN News 18's Mumbai Bureau Chief Vinaya Deshpande. Vinaya, we're learning that Abhinav Bindra is going to be presenting the Olympic Values Education Program this afternoon, post 2 p.m. What are the facets of this program?
Well, yes, that's going to be an important takeaway, because really, if you see, the Olympics Value Program was rolled out in India in May 2022, and that was the time first when it was rolled out with Abhinav Bindra in the state of Odisha. And we saw that just last week with the Reliance Foundation, this program was announced by the Olympic IOC as well. So Thomas Bach as well as Neeta Ambani had announced this program. It plans to reach out to millions of children really to inculcate Olympic values in them, and that is why we expect that when Abhinav Bindra speaks today afternoon at around 2:45, he will give an overview of the kind of impact that the Olympic Value Program has had, particularly on the children, and the kind of efforts that are being taken to inculcate sporting values among the younger generation. So clearly lots happening here at the IOC session, the 141st IOC session, which is undergoing right now at the Geo World Center, where we continue to remain present and report on the events. We have seen that after the inauguration session that took place at around 9 o'clock today, several sessions have taken place. Reports have been put forth with respect to various activities that the IOC has been doing. Yesterday was an important day when the Prime Minister announced the grand opening of the IOC session, where not just did he welcome the entire activity, but also put on a very strong pitch for India to host Olympics in 2036. In fact, not just that, he also said that it was his responsibility to put forth the aspirations of the Indian people who would want the Youth Olympics by the end of this decade as well to be hosted by India. The fact that India has hosted several global events in the last few months, particularly the recent G20 events, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi said showed the prowess of the country in organizing international events, clearly at a time when the Olympic movement has returned to India after a gap of 40 years. This is only the second time that the IOC meeting is taking place in India. This is being seen as a huge boost to the image of the country, which is pitching itself to host Olympics. So on that background, this entire 3-day conference that's taking place here in Mumbai is being seen as an important one, even as the IOC meeting continues in Mumbai. Right now, they have broken for lunch, but after around 2 o'clock is when the sessions reconvene, where we will see various activities take place. Abhinav Bindra will present the details with respect to Olympic Value Program that has been rolled out in India in May 2022 this year. Back to you.
All right, Vinaya, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us those important details. We'll continue to return to you. With that, we close this bulletin, but stay tuned for the latest updates and developments on the biggest stories of the day. Thank you so much for watching CNN News 18.